to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be getting back to work on my car. For anyone that's new to the channel, my car is a 1994 Ford Mustang GT. We have the Trick Flow top end kit on it, which the only thing different about my setup than the Trick Flow top end kit is that I have a pt.3 camshaft in the car instead of the Trick Flow Stage 1 camshaft. Today we're going to be getting back to installing the On3 turbo kit on the car. We are going to wrap the headers, get the intercooler piping ripped off because that's in the way of the crossover pipe. We're going to install the crossover pipe. We're also going to heat wrap the crossover pipe. We're going to heat wrap some of the intake piping. I'll show you guys how we're going to do that. We got the heat wrap soaking in water right now. We are currently waiting on some stuff for the oil lines so that we can build those and get those together. So that will be in a separate part of the video and we'll get those to you guys here soon. But I'll show you guys what we're about to be doing today and we'll get into it. So right here's my crossover pipe. As you guys can see, one of the sides are bare, so I gotta heat wrap that. Just like this side. I didn't wrap this side. I haven't did it yet, so we'll find out how that goes. And then right here, as you can see, the intercooler piping is extremely close to the turbo, so I got to get that off and wrap that as well. Then I have to take the downpipe off and re-wrap the downpipe as well. I don't know if I'll be able to do all of that with the little bit of heat wrap that I have, so we'll be seeing how much I can do there. But I got all the wires all tucked up now, like I was telling you guys that we had to do before. I got the ignition module all bolted up now. But we had to take the intercooler piping off the turbo and off the driver's side of the intercooler so we could get the crossover pipe on because it was hitting on the turbo. Well, not on the turbo, on the intercooler piping, because the sway bar's right in the way of that, and then we gotta connect it there and there. We gotta move most of those wires in the radiator hose to get the crossover pipe on. Then before I get the crossover pipe on, we also have to turn the wastegate around as well, because if you notice that it's pointing at the block, it's not supposed to be pointing at the block, it's supposed to be pointing towards the lower controller slash spring. So we gotta clock that, turn that around, and then start installing the crossover pipe again. And then as soon as we get the crossover pipe installed, we'll start getting everything buttoned back up, like the intake piping, and then we'll get the oil lines all done up tomorrow. It all depends on what we do today. I'm hoping to get the oil lines done today, but we'll find out. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright guys, so we're going to be getting to wrapping the crossover pipe right now, because that's what I got off because I haven't installed it on the car. But this is the brand of heat wrap that we got. I got it off of Amazon. I'm not sure if it's any good or not yet. This is the first time I'm using it, and it's also the first time I'm wrapping the exhaust myself. But this is what came in the kit. It was this and 5 foot of the heat wrap as well, which is right here. I got that. I just got done soaking it in water, so it's a lot easier to get wrapped around the exhaust piping. And they suggested doing that as well for the fiberglass, because as you can tell, it's all fiberglass. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but yeah, it's all fiberglass, so that's why I'm wearing the gloves as well. But we're gonna also need a pair of needle nose pliers. Yes, these are a little over excessive, but these are the only ones I have right now, so they'll do. Something to cut the metal zip ties, but we won't need those quite yet. You need regular zip ties so that you can wrap the exhaust, get these regular zip ties put on there, and then do it because the metal zip ties are a little hard to work with, I heard. So you want to get that on there first, so you get the exhaust nice and tight. Well, not the exhaust wrap nice and tight, and then do the zip tie. So we'll get to doing that right now. Like I said, I'm not sure how this is going to go. We'll find out. But I'll get you guys in closer now so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Sorry guys. There you go. Zip ties over there. Alright, so you want to start off by folding it in half right there like that, like so. And then putting it on the exhaust like that, and then starting the wrap. But I'm going to unroll the wrap real quick so it's a lot easier to handle. And then you want to make sure you're wrapping downwards with it, not upwards like how this side of the exhaust is. Because if you wrap it upwards like that, it'll collect all the water and debris and everything like that and start becoming unwrapped. But also, I forgot as well, while I'm on the fact of getting it wet and stuff as well, you also get it wet, so when you heat it back up, it gets 2 times as tighter as what it originally was. Let me make sure that you guys are at a good angle, and then we'll continue to start getting this wrap done. Attempting to get this wrap done. So you want to make sure you're getting it as tight as possible when you're doing it as well. Then you also want about 50% overlap on your wrap. When you go to lap it over, you want about a 50% overlap or a half. Alright, this is where I'm going to put the zip tie in. So that it holds in place. I'm going to put it around here so I can still get the metal band about right here. I'm not sure if one zip tie will do or not, so we'll find out. Nope, we'll have to double them up. So this is where you're going to want to grab your needle nose pliers, or any pliers of any sort really will work. Give her a few twists, make sure she's really nice and tight. Oh, well, I broke that one. That's okay though. Alright, this time I won't do it as tight. make sure it's tight, but not as tight. There. Just a little bit tighter. Boom. I'm gonna call that perfect. Maybe pull on this one just a little bit, make sure it's actually tight. I just want to make sure it stays in place. There. Take your snips, cut your excess, just for now. Remember, always cut at an angle so you can cut yourself later. Now, keeping it nice and tight, you want to roll it down. And again, keeping that 50% overlap. There we go. Hey Derek, could you bring me a razor blade?
You gotta speak over here, bro.
Could you bring me a razor blade?
You can call me every time, wherever I'm feeling.
Every time. Never fails.
Probably my dad.
Oh yeah.
That's some simple ass, did the simplest shit I could possibly do, dude. I swear, most of the simplest I could possibly do. Alright.
Alright, Derek. One more favor from you.
What?
Zip ties on top of that seat. Towards the very back of it. Thank you. Alright guys, so we started proceeding to get the metal zip tie on. I had to find something to cut it real quick, so I just started go ahead and started putting it on real quick. But as you can see, we got it all wrapped now, all the way down. I missed a few spots like here and over here as well, and then one side right here. But we got the zip tie on there lower, a little bit lower than what we wanted to put our metal zip tie, because we wanted it as close to the top as we can possibly get it, so that we're not letting it come unwrapped. And then again at the bottom, you want to get it as close to the bottom as you can. So we're going to also throw 2 on that side probably, and 1 up here, and see how that goes. But yeah, we're going to get those all put on and get to it. So let's show you how we're going to do this. You're going to take your needle nose, you're going to bend it over like this a couple times. You just want to sit here and fold it over, and just keep folding it over until you possibly can't no more. And that sucker should be tight. Then you can take your snips. Try not to cut your heat wrap that you just put on there, and cut your zip tie off. Now you got one side done. Now we are going to work on this side and getting this side done. So I'll show you guys how the metal zip tie works and all that. I'll end up redoing that one over there. But so it's basically like a real zip tie. You just put it in there, and just pull it. It's hard to get them back out. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm able to slip it over and get it on there. I just wanted to show you guys that once you put it on, it locks in just like a real zip tie. So like I said, remember, try to get this as low as possible, just so that your stuff ain't coming unwrapped on you. It might still come unwrapped, but you're taking less of a chance of it coming unwrapped when you get it as low as you can. So like a real zip tie, just pull it until it gets nice and tight. Make sure you're in the position that you want it in. Like so. Pull it nice and tight. Get your needle nose. Pull her a little tighter than what you can get her finger tight. Try to, at least. Bam. No, I don't have real snips, so I'm using garden shears right now. Well, or tin snips, whatever you want to call them. But snip this. Get your needle nose or your pliers back out. Get a hold of that. And just twist until she gets tight. Bam. Now she's nice and snug. I might have messed that one up a little bit. But it'll do for now. That's why I said we might have to use a couple on it, because I kind of figured I would mess it up. Cut your zip tie. Get you one more metal zip tie out. This for security, just in case that zip tie fails. And then we're gonna get this one on there just a little bit above this one, just in case that one fails. We have a security one, basically. So get that on there, get it pulled tight. There we go. Pull it back out, snip it. And do it again, just so we can make sure that it's nice and tight. Boom. Now that sucker should be on there nice and tight, but just in case, I'll do it one more time. If I can get my dang pliers in there. But it looks like I can't, so we're gonna leave it like that. So there, we got a finished product right there. Not too bad for my first time wrapping exhaust. Obviously, I'll get better, but so we just got the intake to do now. Now I'll get a time lapse for you guys. And all that good stuff. We'll get the intake crossover pipe put back on. Well, the header crossover pipe, sorry guys. Get that mounted back on. Then we're gonna get the intercooler pipe taken off, get that mounted on, and get that heat wrapped as well. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright guys, so we ended up getting everything finished. We ended up getting the intercooler piping wrapped. We ended up getting the downpipe wrapped. We also ended up getting the crossover pipe wrapped and installed. The crossover pipe was kind of hard to film, so we just ended up installing that off a camera, and we said screw it, we might as well just throw everything else on right now. So we did that as well, so I'll show you guys the finished product on all that. So here's the intercooler piping after we got it all heat wrapped. The reason why we mainly heat wrapped it is because of that right there. It's because it gets real close to the turbo right there. And then here's the downpipe. This was completely bare before, so we decided to wrap that as well. Then I'll get down here and show you guys the crossover pipe. But before I show you guys that, I'll let you guys know that we did have to remove our intercooler piping because the flange on the crossover pipe ended up hitting the sway bar and that intercooler piping. I'll show you guys that right now. So that flange right there, right here, ended up hitting the sway bar and the intercooler piping when I was just trying to put it up like this. So I was running into problems with it hitting right there. So I just removed the intercooler piping itself and ended up sticking the crossover pipe up there. Got that installed. I ended up flipping the wastegate around like I said. So we got that all installed. So we got all that stuff done for now. That'll be it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be tapping the pan next and running the oil lines hopefully. So just stay tuned for that. That should be out shortly after this video. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.